So I'm going to read this. Number 1, executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA, Section 405(6)E, concerning the town's legal rights, duties, and responsibilities related to the continuation or termination of the town manager's contract, with possible discussion and action to follow.
So moved.
Do I have a second, counsel? Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded for discussion. To the chair. Go ahead.
Seeing the vast majority of the public, like I've never seen before here, I yield my time to anyone who cares to make a comment about this motion.
Through the chair. Through the chair.
Yes.
I've notified several residents of Old Orchard Beach that the executive session, there would be no discussion regarding performance, people, names, etc., and that people didn't need to attend, and that if in the future any action was taken.
Please.
To the chair, those conversations have already happened in the press and in the public. They've already happened. Let's be honest. Those conversations have already happened.
It is my understanding that we're here to discuss item 1 and nothing else.
We have a motion made and seconded. Will the secretary call for the vote?
Through the chair.
Will the secretary call for the vote, please?
Councillor Coleman.
No.
Councillor Quinn.
No.
Councillor Maylott.
Yes.
Councillor Furtado.
Yes.
Councillor Dayton.
No.
Vice Chair Vice Chair Bolduc
Yes.
and Chair McDonald.
Yes. That obviously doesn't carry because you need 5 votes to go into executive session, so it fails. Because the motion was voted down, no action can be taken tonight anyway, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I just want to ask, does the townspeople in the audience want to hear all of the issues publicly that we have? Okay. We have a motion and second on the table, and I've asked the secretary to call for the vote
Second
to go into executive session.
I thought there was second for discussion.
It was not.
Well,
Councillor Dayton?
we've always been allowed to speak.
We've always been allowed to speak, and
Now
you're
all of a
shutting this
sudden we're
down?
not? Now all of a sudden when he's not allowed to ask whatever it is he has a question to ask?
Okay. Obviously, the council can, the chairman can be overruled by the majority of the council. Someone make a motion to allow discussion before we take the vote to go into executive session.
Fine, make a
So
motion.
moved.
Second.
Will you call for the vote on that?
Councillor Dayton?
Yes.
Councillor Furtado?
No.
Councillor Maylott? No. Councillor Quinn?
Yes.
Councillor Coleman?
Yes.
Vice Chair Bolduc?
No.
Chair McDonald?
No.
The Gang of Four
that
has
fails.
just shut down
That
debate.
fails 4-3. Will the secretary call for the vote to go into executive session?
Councillor Dayton?
No.
Councillor Furtado?
Yes.
Councillor Maylott? Yes. Councillor Quinn?
No.
Councillor Coleman?
Before I announce my vote, I asked the chair 3 questions on Friday. I have yet to receive a response. Those questions were, will the town have its own legal representation present? I imagine that Mr. Pearson will be represented by counsel. If your intent is to consider a move against Mr. Pearson's continued employment, it would be prudent to have our attorney present. Number 2, knowing Mr. Pearson's publicly stated preference, as is his right under Maine law, to have the public present at any meeting in which his job is in question, why are you claiming privacy issues defined under 1 MRSA Section 405, 6 I believe it's 6A, as a reason to enter into executive session outside of public view. Number 3, knowing the widespread and deep support Mr. Pearson enjoys in our community, why do you persist in going down this foolish path? I await your prompt reply to my questions on behalf of our constituents. Excuse me. The taxpayers and residents of Old Orchard Beach. My vote is no.
Vice Chair Boda?
Yes.
Chair McDonald?
Yes, that fails because we need 5 votes to go into executive session. This is the third, just for...
If you had answered my questions, I could have gone into executive session, but you decided to be arrogant and disrespectful.
Point of order.
And not answer a reasonable question from a fellow counselor.
You didn't read your whole statement.
Thank you, Councilor
Please.
Coleman. Councilor Maylott?
Thank you, through the chair. At this time, I move that the council provide the town manager with written notice as follows. Pursuant to Section 4 of the employment agreement between the town of Old Orchard Beach and Mark Pearson, dated February 13th, 2012, you are hereby notified of the town's intention to terminate that agreement for no cause, with such termination to become effective as of the close of business on Wednesday, April 3rd, 2013. And further move that the council authorize the town manager to take a leave of absence with full pay and benefits during that 4-week period, following his receipt of notice of the town's intent to terminate his employment agreement for no cause, and the date on which that contract is terminated. Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded.
To the chair, point of order.
Yes.
Since that specific charge was not on the agenda, it is out of order, and I believe it to be illegal to be brought up at this time. If you need to bring that up, put it on the agenda.
Will our town attorney please speak to that?
Good evening. Looking for my agenda here. I seem to have misplaced it. But my understanding is that the agenda item here seeks the executive session, which is a procedural means of getting to the point. But it's clearly related to the personnel on the town manager. And what's been proposed here is in regards to the manager's contract. So in my view, I think this is in order for the disposition of the council tonight. It may not be the preference of myself and others to proceed this way, but I think it's here, and it's present and should be acted on and disposed of.
Yes,
Through the
Mr. Quinn.
chair. A question to council. I'm under section 904 of the charter, and it reads, "No action shall be taken on agenda items which have not been posted and published in accordance with this section, unless the council, commission, committee, or board determines that an emergency exists." And there has been no declaration of an emergency in this case, so the question I have for you is this a legal motion? The motion that's on the floor.
Mr. Quinn, I believe you're looking at section 904, the general provisions of the charter. My understanding is that, I mean, this was posted. I'm not exactly sure about the timing when the agenda was issued, but the matter, I believe, is before the council.
So where do you draw that line of vagueness? You're interpreting this to say that this motion, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that this motion is legal, but the vagueness, and you've heard other councilors speak here saying, I don't know what's entailed in this agenda item. But by the same token, you're saying that even though an emergency doesn't exist, this can be interpreted to be a legal motion, if I'm understanding you correctly.
Keep dropping my agenda somewhere.
Madam Chair, may I speak on this issue before you make a final vote? I'm concerned about conflict of interest. I'm concerned about bias. I have to make a record. I have to make that point so that it's kept within this record for an appeal. And so I'd like to have just the courtesy of 1 minute to make that point.
First of all, I would point out a couple things. One is that I think we all read the paper yesterday. The second point is that clearly the manager knew what was coming. He gave you the letter requesting things to be in the public. And so I think the scope here, perhaps not as defined as precisely as some people might prefer, gets us to the goal of having this matter properly before the council and the subject matter to be acted on. That's my view.
We have a motion and second on the table. Will the secretary call for the vote?
Counselor Coleman,
On the motion to remove the manager, absolutely no.
Counselor Quinn,
No.
Counselor Mailer,
Yes.
Counselor Dayton,
On the motion to remove the town manager without cause for no reason whatsoever, absolutely not.
Counselor Capata,
On the motion to buy out the contract per the town manager's specific contract that he drafted up, yes.
Vice Chair Bolduc,
Yes.
Chair McDonald,
Yes, that carries 4-3. And he said, "Are you going to follow the charter and draft a resolution?" And I said, "Yeah, we're going to follow the charter."